Oh, man. You know, many observers of the Python-like murder of individual liberty in America likely saw the news that new Boston Mayor Michelle Wu recently imposed her immoral so-called vaccine passport mandate in the hub. A mandate and a bunch of threats that her Ministry of Truth call the Be Together system. Be, of course, with the letter. Oh, how quaint. When, of course, it actually doesn't allow people to be together at all. It forces people apart. Of course, they can be together if they comply with her strictures and threats about how folks can associate with one another. But given the blind arrogance and craziness of that mandate in Boston, some people might not have noticed that the mayor's new chief of staff is pushing something almost as asinine and foolish. Get this. This woman actually wants gender equity in snow plowing. No, this is not a joke. Hi, everyone. I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV. And yes, it is indicative of how Marxism collectivism is so powerful a brain bath for so many possibly kind-hearted people that it gets them thinking that any small natural difference in living standard or tiny factor of reality must be caused by a power imbalance. Said imbalance brought about, of course, by freedom and fixable through, yeah, you got it, the coercive power of the state. The chief of staff in question here is named Tiffany Chu. She's been doing a wonderful job in ultra-clean San Francisco as their environmental commissioner under Mayor London Breed. She, the person who had to break her own COVID lockdown edicts to see Tony Tone. Or was it Tony the Tiger? I don't know. Because, well, of course, their music is great.
They are just really some of the most incredible artists in the history of this country and the Bay Area in particular.
And Ms. Chu has embraced Marxist equity rationales so completely that even snow plowing can, to her, be seen as a slight and not a problem already being caused by collectivism. I first heard about the heroic Ms. Chu's keen snow plowing insight thanks to Boston radio fixture and author Howie Carr, who about 20 minutes into his 4 p.m. hour on January 26th told the audience about Ms. Chu's statements and actually played audio from her October 2021 video conference call, The Morning Welcome, to back up his claim.
The idea of snow clearing is sexist. And the woman who's going to be running the mayor's staff says, yes, wholeheartedly, she agrees that the concept of snow clearing is sexist.
In it, she describes herself as having a deep fear of climate change.
Deep fear of climate change.
And of course, she says she brings her whole self to work.
Bringing my whole self to work.
Which of course makes one wonder why she worries so much about snow if she's so worried about climate change, and wonder how someone can be at work but leave a part of himself or herself at home. Well, she used her whole self to refer to a Swedish study to make her position on snowplow equity perfectly clear.
And in 2012, a number of cities in Sweden adopted a gender equal plowing strategy where actually first pedestrian cycle lanes were cleared, especially near schools and daycare centers, and then later on major streets.
Because we all know on the collectivist run streets, snowstorms see the vast bulk of traffic riding bike lanes to get to the schools that likely aren't even open anyway. And what exactly is gender equal plowing?
If you don't plow the main thoroughfares, then how are people who are going to shovel out the sidewalks that the women use going to get to the sidewalks on the side streets if the main thoroughfares are not plowed out?
Not to mention the school buses, if there even is school. But we who aren't part of the collectivist cult, our minds just aren't sufficiently trained to understand equity and how it's a term that can be utilized by any power-hungry Pole who wants to increase power and demonize folks who just want to be left the heck alone.
I know I'm a white male cisgender who was born here, but I don't get it.
In her grand video appearance, Chu, who's the daughter of Taiwanese immigrants and might want to see where collectivism took mainland China, offered this.
And what they discovered was that this existing societal practice actually disadvantaged women because they were the ones who were more likely to walk and travel with children, while men who were predominantly working and commuting benefited from those major corridors being plowed first.
I mean, talk about wasting your time and taxpayer money. I've got a new project. I got a new theory. Why don't you leave people alone? See if they'll willingly pay you for your stupid projects and theories. I highly doubt it. And this is where her collectivist mindset reveals even more, where it lets us glimpse the roots of her misunderstanding. City streets and sidewalks and the inequity she perceives in how they are managed have nothing to do with society. They're products of collectivist organization, precisely the kind of organization she wants to force into more areas of other people's lives. Society is the natural set of ethics, mores, and private institutions human beings create voluntarily. By definition, society stands in contradistinction from the state or polis, which is the artificial body claiming a power to take money from the people who actually form society. And of course, government wants to boss them around. To its deepest philosophical roots, the state only exists at the expense of people in society, and it throws those people into what economists call the tragedy of the commons. If Chu had studied basic economics, she might recall that in the tragedy of the commons, everyone who's pushed together into the common government-run pay pool or who lives in a government-managed area believes he or she has a claim on how that system should be run. Thus, myriad interests argue. They cry that plowing precedence should be given to sidewalks or bike paths or streets or fire lanes. And they'll say, here's X, Y, or Z reason that your position is sexist, ageist, racist, or whatever pejorative grenade they want to lob your way. Now, sometimes the system will cater to the majority. Sometimes it will cater to the most vocal minority or minorities, and sometimes it will cater to special interests who feed the politicians a little something extra to get the proverbial government grease on their squeaky wheels. However it is directed, it won't be directed the way that market forces and people truly want. Because only in society where people are free can that happen. Only if people are allowed their voluntary choices to reflect their real, honest interests and allowing that to be revealed in the free market can we actually see what people want. That's why private shopping centers and parking lots usually are cleared of snow sooner and much better than government-run streets. They have financial incentives to help get their customers in and out safely. And they can't simply take people's money and call it equity. But the government-run collectivist system, they can take it. And it has gotten so bad, people like Chu actually argue over silliness like this. As Carr wrote on January 28th for the Boston Herald, quote, "You know who else benefits from having the major streets plowed first? People who call 911, whose houses are on fire, who need an ambulance. Have you ever tried to maneuver a hook and ladder truck down a bicycle lane?" End quote. Ah, Boston, a center of collectivist ideology, and one that, of course, thanks to Howie Carr, provides us a life lesson in both wokeness gone wild and the deeper, longer-lasting lesson of collectivism itself. Collectivism versus freedom. It's too bad the collectivists won't allow you to choose. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Remember, like and subscribe. Remember to be gender equal when you do. And feel free to find us on Rumble if you're watching on YouTube. Rumble doesn't censor us there. Really nice to be on their platform. You can find us all the time at MRCTV.org. That's MRCTV.org. You'll find us on Instagram. You'll find us on TikTok. You'll find us on Twitter. We're in Facebook. And I am on Twitter at Gard Goldsmith and on Gab at Gardner Goldsmith. Thanks so much, everybody. Hope you're enjoying winter, or if you're in Australia, hope you're enjoying summer. And we'll be seeing you soon. For MRC TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.